This is so serious. I think like most of us, like life can really push you to the edge where you may feel like you're done. You're done with life. Like there's Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Susan Somi. Before I start, I want to thank all those people who have taken their time to subscribe to my channel. I know we are still starting, but I know we'll get somewhere. And I also want to thank all those people who are watching my videos. And guys, if you have not yet, kindly subscribe. So today, as you have already seen in the title below, I want to talk about a few signs of depression. And guys, as you know, depression is not something we can joke about, or it's not something you can feel ashamed of. Like, it's something that is happening in the society. It is affecting people in the society. But then how do we know? How can we know whether we are suffering from that depression? In most cases, we don't know, or rather, we may have an idea that we are suffering from something, or something is not right with our bodies. And then we tend to ignore, we tend to brush away all the feelings. But then guys, depression is, like severe depression is something that can even make you become suicidal. Many people have died because they were not so brave enough to address all their issues. But then guys, you still have, all of us here, first of all, you need to start working with yourself. You need to start understanding how your body is, and then you can start identifying whether there are some changes that are not normal with yourself. Now, in no way am I a psychology student, nor am I an expert, but I have read widely. I have seen the statistics and all that sort, and it's something is there. And we really need to appreciate and we need to acknowledge that depression is really an issue in the society. But then, before we can start helping other people, we need to understand ourselves. This thing of addressing depression starts with an individual. So you need to know, like, are you really suffering? Are you also affected by this disease? Or are you this person who is just smiling all the time, trying to show people that things are okay with you? So for me today, I have a couple of signs that can indicate whether you may be suffering from depression. The first sign is loss of interest. Guys, sometimes, like, let's say maybe you love traveling, you love maybe writing, you love like reading or going swimming. But then there comes a time when you don't feel like doing all those things. Like, you become so much withdrawn, and then like you start wondering what is happening with you. Guys, that can be a sign of depression. Now, the second sign that can indicate you're depressed is hopelessness. Guys, when you're hopeless, you may tend to think like the world is ending anytime. Like, you don't have hope. You don't believe in anything. You don't see the positives. You only see the negative things. Guys, man, when you reach at that point, just know things are not okay with you, and you may want to start like starting to discover, starting to understand yourself, starting to look within you to know exactly what is happening with you. And guys, it's not a crime. You need to be the first person to help yourself. But you see, when you sit waiting for other people to come, they won't. So guys, when you start feeling sad, start feeling hopeless, like you're so hopeless, everything to you is negative, you don't see the positive in anything, and you see like everybody is against you, guys, please, that could be depression. Another sign of depression is appetite and weight changes. So guys, people react differently to different situations. For example, I may react by, let's say maybe I have an issue. I may react by eating a lot of food, or perhaps just not eating at all. What happens when you do that? You may tend to lose weight, or rather, you may tend to gain weight, because that's how your body reacts. But then, that's not you. That's not you. You're being, like, your actions are being directed by the feelings, by your feelings, by your situations, by your circumstances. And that's why you may find people have really changed. And people, when you start losing weight or gaining weight, you may start feeling worthless. You may start feeling like you're not pretty. You may start feeling like people like don't like you for how you look. But then this is all in your mind. Like, you've placed these things in your mind, like your mind is controlling you. So like, you let things flow the way they are. And when you do that, like, you start overthinking, thinking so many things that are not even true. Guys, that's depression. Whether you like it or not, when you start losing weight, when you start gaining weight, you need to look within you and probably start looking at how things went wrong. Is it because of just you're good? Is it because you're eating well? Is it because you're doing exercises that is causing your weight changes? Guys, you need to look at that. Another sign of depression is anxiety. Guys, I can't lie. I am normally anxious. Not always, but I do get anxious. And when I get anxious, I feel like my heart is sinking down my stomach. And when you're anxious, you will just know you're anxious. Like, something happens with you and you know, like, you're anxious. And you can't cheat yourself. You cannot lie on being anxious. We all do. But then, what if your anxiety is persistence? Anytime you wake up, anytime you try to do something, anytime you try to go anywhere, anytime you try to talk to people, like, you're just anxious all the time. These guys could indicate you have an issue, there's something disturbing you, something serious, and something that you need to probably address. Another sign of depression can be sleep changes and habits. Guys, so when you're depressed, what happens when you're depressed? You tend to overthink. You think so much that you even, when you go to that bed of yours, you will not feel like sleeping, because there are so many thoughts running through your head, and doesn't give you like that peace for you. It doesn't give you peace for you to even get some rest. And guys, when you don't sleep, when you don't get enough sleep, it really affects you. It affects your mental being. You will feel like dizzy. You won't feel like doing anything over the day. So when that persists, guy, when you see persistence in your sleep patterns, probably insomnia, if I may say it, if you start noticing like you're not sleeping and your work is only to overthink on things that are affecting you, guys, you could be suffering from depression and you may want to get some help. Another sign is fatigue. Guys, when you wake up depressed, when you're depressed, or when you wake up you're tired, you've not done anything, you're just from sleeping and your whole body is so tired, you don't even feel like taking tea, you don't even feel like going to the shower, like you don't feel like doing anything. Definitely, guys, something is making you do that. Something inside you is controlling you. And guys, really, you need help. That's depression. And another sign that is associated, this is the most critical. This is probably something that has deceived so many people. Like, forced happiness. Guys, there are so many people out here who are faking happiness. Somebody just comes, smiles, thinking like, oh, everything is okay. You go on social media highlighting where you've been. Guys, sometimes you need just time to cool off things. When you like, when you want people to think that you're happy, you can do that. You can be smiling all the time. That is like smiling syndrome. Yes, guys, you smile all the time. You want people to know you're good, but deep down, when you go back inside, when you go back home, inside your bedroom, inside that bed of yours, you are sad, you are lonely, you are crying. Don't do that to your body. Don't do that to yourself. You are harming yourself. One day, it may go overboard. One day, the bubble will burst. That bubble of fake happiness will burst. And when it does, what happens? What happens to you? Guys, please don't go there. When you start feeling like you're forcing happiness on people, you want people to know that you're happy, these people won't help you. These people don't care. These people don't care about your happiness. These people don't care whether you're sad or what. It's upon you, guys. Do not harm yourself trying to impress other people. And guys, don't let depression kill you just because of you're trying to impress other people out there. This life is yours. It's just one. And guys, now this is another sign, is suicidal thoughts. Guys, I cannot lie. This is so serious. I think like most of us, like life can really push you to the edge where you may feel like you're done. You're done with life. Like there's nothing else for you to do here. And guys, you may think like the only thing that can give you closure is committing suicide. And guys, that's where many people have lost their lives. When you reach there, guys, you know you need help. Do not continue sitting when you start noticing now you're having suicidal thoughts, because one day they may actually manifest. And when it manifests, you will lose this life. There's no other life. We don't have a second life. When you go, you go. When you commit that suicide, you go. And guys, you need to understand, we are all suffering from problems. People suffer from different problems each and every day. No one has a perfect life. What matters is how you handle situations. Learn how to handle situations in the best way possible. And when you notice there's an issue, seek for help. Go seek for help. Do not sit and wait until you reach that point where you cannot help yourself. Don't reach that point, guys. And it's so serious. And people need to know. People need to be aware. And guys, we also need to help our friends. But first of all, help yourself first, because you're also a victim. At one point, you are a victim. So guys, those are some of the hidden symptoms or signs that you could be suffering from depression. And guys, suffering from depression, you don't need to be ashamed of suffering from depression. Depression is a mental health. Depression is like any disease. It's like you can't be sorry because you have cancer. You can't be sorry because you have malaria. These are things that happen. These things happen and you don't have control over. But guys, you can change. You can change what you can. And in this case, changing is preventing. You can make change when it comes to prevention. This all lies with you. And in my next video, guys, I will give you some tips in which you can be able to prevent yourself or to help yourself manage this thing called depression. Bye bye, guys.